results of habit and regimen, which have a direct or indirect tendency to increase the perils of this approaching crisis. There is in almost all cases a decline in health, more or less marked in degree. The strength is diminished, and in many instances there is loss of flesh as well. The appetite is capricious and morbid, as at the beginning of the period of menstrual activity. Various disturbances of the stomach, bowels, bladder, and even kidneys are to be noted. Cutaneous eruptions often occur, particularly a form of acne of the face. The patient perhaps complains of symptoms referring to the heart, also the lungs and other vital organs. The expression of the face often changes in a marked degree, and sometimes there is a marked growth of hair on the chip. But by far the most noticeable symptoms are those which relate to the nervous system. The neuralgias, nervousness, fidgets, and hysterias which afflict some women at this period are such as to render life wholly undesirable. Flushings are among the most constant of the symptoms referable to the nervous system. A sudden rushing of blood to a part, accompanied by excessive heat and often violent throbbing, renders the patient really wretched by its frequency. Any part of the body may be affected, but the head or face and neck are the favourite set of the affliction. The phenomenon is precisely the same as that of blushing. This sudden efflux of blood to any part may occur as often as several times an hour, or may be as infrequent as half a dozen times a day. The paroxysm usually lasts not more than 10 minutes and is succeeded by profuse perspiration. When the heart is not succeeded by the perspiration, it is familiarly termed dry flushing, which is much more disagreeable than the other form of the malady. Sometimes nausea and vomiting accompany the flushing, as invariably does a feeling of weakness and malaise, to which the patient should yield herself, securing quiet and repose until the equilibrium of the circulation is restored. Sometimes the congestion of the head becomes so intense as to make apoplexy imminent, and indeed cases of paralysis have occurred at such a time in a few instances. Another unpleasant complication of these attacks is the intense mental excitement which often accompanies them, and which sometimes amounts to actual delirium or mania. Profuse perspiration, sometimes so copious as to saturate the bedclothing, are also a common symptom of this condition. These may follow a flushing or may occur independently. They are most apt to occur during sleep. Almost invariably they follow mental or nervous excitement. Other general symptoms occur with greater or less frequency and prominence, such as general debility, chlorosis, biliousness, headache, pain in the leg or bowels, sick headaches, hemorrhoids or piles, diarrhea, constipation, dropsy, bloating of the face, swelling of the hands or feet, frequent fainting, irritation and swelling of breasts, neuralgia or rheumatism of joints, leukorrhea, pain in chest with or without cough, false pregnancy, nettle rash, water brush, incontinence of urine, numbness of limbs, prickling sensation in hands and arms, epilepsy, fits of laughing and crying, irritation of the rectum, vicarious hemorrhages as from nose, stomach, varicose veins and even skin, boils near the anus, peeling of nails, falling off of nails, inflammation of the eye and weak vision, toothache, neuralgia of vulva, itching of vulva, inflammation of vagina, sciatica, and unnatural drowsiness. But we have not yet mentioned the most prominent class of symptoms which characterize this important period. Those which relate to the mind. The mental symptoms are quite as marked and prominent in most cases as those which relate to any part of the system. Often there is an entire and most remarkable change in disposition. A kind, patient mother, or fair-bearing, confiding, exemplary wife becomes irritable, unreasonable, and suspicious. Her natural modesty may even give place to wantonness in extreme cases, and the mother's instincts may become so thoroughly obliterated as to give place to an almost uncontrollable desire to take the lives of her little ones. The once happy woman becomes despondent, moody, and taciturn. She avoids company, has no taste for amusements, and spends her time in watching her varying symptoms and bewailing her real and imaginary woes. In many cases, actual insanity, usually of a temporary character, fortunately, is the result of the profound disturbances which the system undergoes at this time. On the appearance of the first indication of the approaching change, the woman should be relieved of all taxing cares, and should be placed under such circumstances as to secure quiet and mental and physical repose. If she must remain at home, she must be shielded from the 1,001 petty annoyances which creep into the best regulated domestic circles. Induce her to take a liberal allowance of out-of-door exercise daily. Carriage riding is especially to be recommended, as it provides gentle exercise with entertainment. The diet should be amply nourishing and varied, but unstimulating. Nothing is better than fruits and grains prepared in various simple but palatable ways. Tea and coffee are especially objectionable, as are all forms of alcoholic beverages, together with bitters of every description. A tri-weekly warm bath will be found exceedingly soothing to the irritable nerves. Gentle rubbing administered daily will be of special advantage also. Sponging the spine alternately with hot and cold water once or twice a day, 10 to 20 minutes at a time, will be found of special service also. One more question remains to be answered in case the patient is a married lady. The question of the marital relations during this change. There are undoubtedly cases in which the perturbed state of the sexual as well as of the nervous system gives rise to an unnatural excitement of the sexual desires at this epoch, but that is rarely the case. As a rule, the appetite for the physical pleasures of the marriage bed is during this time greatly in abeyance, if not wholly extinguished. It is evidently the design of nature to protect the nervous system of the woman from the tempestuous excitements which she is unqualified to endure without damage, not only to the system as a whole, but to that portion of the vital economy chiefly involved in the act. There is no doubt but that sexual congress at this time is a very common cause of intensifying all the numerous inconveniences and physical, mental, and nervous ailments which are attendant upon this period. Hence, continence is to be not only recommended, but enjoined as one of the most essential hygienic measures by which a safe and rapid transit through the turbulent period of sexual decline may be ensured.